right. Good. Yeah. You. Okay. No more showing your crotch, gentlemen. All right.
No direction podcast, jokers.
All right.
I don't want the word cartridges being said by Larry. What?
It's my thing. I would say cartridges. Sorry, Larry. Continue. All right, let's do
All
this.
right, ready? 3 and 2 and 1. From the terrifying hamlet of Racine, Wisconsin, it's Ghosts, Ghouls, and Beer.
No!
Hey.
Wow, we are
Wow,
really low
Jerry,
effort.
what the hell was that? That was the most lackluster.
We just got scolded.
Oh, sorry. I was
Who
very
scolded
enthusiastic
you?
about the main theme.
There was a scolding.
I was taking a swig of my beer. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Well, that's the last time I give you guys a pep talk before.
A pep talk.
You guys all suck!
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like the worst pep talk ever. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this.
That's what we
You're
got.
right, we did get scolded.
I've gotten a better pep talk from a nun, Rob.
Hey. Hey now. The sister was fine. Okay, calm down.
Yeah, she bet you right over her knee. Now,
So who do we have with us tonight, Rob?
well, actually, somebody from a podcast that actually knows what they're doing.
Wow.
That's Ryan from the No Direction podcast.
Repeat his name one more time, because
Ryan.
Hey, Rob, and all the guys, but I haven't even got your names yet. You're just Rob and the Chaos.
okay. So Rob, who is the
Oh my
chaos
God.
tonight?
That's our
I
band
like
name now.
The chaos tonight is Matt.
Yo.
We got Jim.
Hey.
We got politician Patrick.
Thank you.
We got Tom.
Yeah.
We got Jonah. And as always, we've got Drunken Larry.
Hey.
Drunken Punisher today. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
right.
drunk-
Yeah,
not
drunk
Larry.
Larry. Yeah, just remember, I was going to say, I hope you got an orange tip on that gun.
That's what she said.
We are recording.
Actually, originally not. I had to sand off to get the orange back.
All right, so.
Now that we're done talking about Larry's big gun, Ryan, why don't you tell us a little bit about your podcast?
My podcast? All right, well, it's a gaming podcast, similar to your guys. We talk specifically about the Pathfinder role-playing game, a tabletop role-playing game, the successor to Dungeons & Dragons in, like, every way possible at this point. We come out twice monthly. It's news, reviews, interviews, a little bit of banter. Basically, whatever relates to Pathfinder, we try and bring it up sometime on the show.
We had the guys from EtherCon on, about a month back, and they are really huge into the Pathfinder thing.
Oh, yeah, holy crap.
How did you
Yeah, I was associated with the first EtherCon. I didn't come back for the second one.
Oh, it went that well. Oh, okay. Well.
Huh.
On that note.
Today on
You guys are
G2B
really into it. I'm
Insider.
just saying what happened. I was associated with the first one, not the second one.
You're a bunch of bums.
Evidently.
That was
Wow.
Ryan, that was not me, by the way.
Yeah, that Ryan said that. That was not Rob saying that. Rob would never say anything like that.
We just turned into One Life to Live the podcast.
Yeah, really. All right, so we all know what Pathfinder is, but why don't you explain to our audience, who are mainly computer gamers, but a lot of tabletop gamers as well, what Pathfinder is?
All right, you want the short version or the really nerdy version?
Go with the really nerdy version.
Come on,
we
man.
love it when
Alright.
people get
You
nerdy.
know Dungeons and Dragons.
Well,
Yes.
we know Dungeons and Dragons, yes. And so
All right,
a good chunk of our audience.
started the role-playing game genre. Things like armor class and hit points that you find in every game now, that started in Dungeons and Dragons. It had a huge impact on the gaming hobby. And over the years, people pointed out some of the rules don't make sense. It's not that intuitive, so it goes through multiple editions. By third edition, there was a lot of people were kind of tired of Dungeons and Dragons, so they really upped their game. They said this edition's gonna, first of all, the rules are gonna make sense. All the dice are gonna roll the same direction. Rolling a 20 is always gonna be good on a d20, instead of sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes who knows what. They cleaned it up. They made a proper functional game out of it. They really treated it like you would treat a modern video game now, which was unheard of in role-playing games for whatever reason up until then. And they supported it with something called the Open Game License. So instead of everyone competing with Dungeons and Dragons, they said anyone can provide content for this game, because this is such an amazing system that instead of having Dungeons and Dragons and then competing fantasy game, you can just use our rules. You can't use the Dungeons & Dragons name. You can't use a couple of specific monsters that are that belong to Wizards of the Coast as intellectual property. But for the most part, you can just use whatever you want. You want to have fighters and wizards in your game but set in New York? That's fine. You can use our rules. And what was great was that this open game license was forever. It cannot be revoked. There is no legal way that they can take away this open game license. Now, this was great for everybody except for Wizards of the Coast. When they moved on to 4th edition, went with a completely different game system, a very different feel, and other issues that, were unrelated to the game that kind of alienated people.
Weird.
So while a lot of people are looking at 4th edition saying, this isn't Dungeons & Dragons, another company, Paizo, came along, released Pathfinder, which was based on the open game license. So it's literally a version of Dungeons & Dragons in everything but the name. And people had to choose between this third-party publisher creating a different game based on an old edition, or the currently released, supported by Wizards of the Coast, the owners of Dungeons & Dragons, and people started choosing Pathfinder. And 4th edition became one of the shortest-lived editions of Dungeons & Dragons, and right now there's no currently supported Dungeons & Dragons. They're in this flux between an edition that didn't work and alienated fans, and pushing towards 5th edition. And in the meantime, Pathfinder's just growing and growing. There's going to be an MMO in a couple of years. There's got a new card game out that's super popular. It was one of the biggest hits at Gen Con. And it's just Pathfinder's establishing himself in a way that Dungeons & Dragons can't figure out where they went wrong.
Yeah, you talk about Gen Con. Wow, you weren't kidding, because the 5th, they were pushing the 5th edition there, and it was just dead in that area. And you guys were the Pathfinder. You couldn't get close to. It was amazing, the turnout.
Now, when you say you guys, I should point out we don't work for Paizo. Well, okay, I've done freelance writing for Paizo, but as a podcast, we don't work for Paizo. We're not associated directly. We just support them. We love their product. We love that company. I just want to make sure there's no confusion there. We're not an official podcast, but we are the most official Pathfinder podcast in that we're kind of the only one, which still baffles me. Others have come and gone. We're the only one that's consistently been there since the beginning.
Tom will completely stay confused for the entire remainder of the podcast.
Yes,
Okay.
I will keep saying you're with Pathfinder, so don't worry about it. So we're good with that. Even if you're not, I'll say you are.
How did you guys end up starting the podcast?
Well, we started a podcast called 3.5 Private Sanctuary because the assumption was that 4th edition would become the dominant version of Dungeons & Dragons, and we would just be these kind of recluse hangers-on, the rebels that are like, no, 3.5 is our game. So we thought we'd have a website where any other like-minded people could come and be 3.5 loyalists and just talk about that game, talk about, all the rules, just analyze it. Because it was such a robust game, we were convinced we could talk for at least a couple of years just about 3.5 content. And within the first year, we started getting wind of Paizo, who used to publish the Dungeon and Dragon magazines. So Dragon Magazine and Dungeon Magazine. It's kind of a weird. It's hard to say Dungeon Magazine and Dragon Magazine without thinking it's a Dungeon Dragons magazine. It was associated, but it was two different publications that they were licensing out. They lost that license. Wizards was being really oblique about what was going on with the 4th edition third-party support, and so Paizo just said, well, we've got this apparently core audience, like my listeners, that they decided to start supporting and marketing towards. And so we were kind of doing the same thing at the same time, just they were doing it from a product point of view. We were just kind of being a community. And so when Pathfinder came out, we already had a couple of their designers on the podcast as interviews and stuff. So we were really there right from the beginning, and we were looking forward to the release. So the core rulebook came out, and the first episode of our podcast came out within a month of each other. And we've kind of just continued to grow in parallel. Well, they've grown on a scale that we are completely jealous of, but there's been growth on both sides from Paizo and the No Direction podcast.
So why don't you tell us about the Kickstarter? Now, you guys have already blown your Kickstarter.
Yeah,
away,
they have blown the Kickstarter away.
Yeah, we're at 200%, 200.1.
Oh, come on. You can do better.
Yeah, just 200.1.
We set up a $2,000 goal just because we've been working with the same equipment since the original 3.5 Private Sanctuary started in 2007. I was still running up until a couple of months ago on a computer that used XP. And so the podcast was starting to sound really grainy every now and then. I would just go Cylon during an episode, and it was just it was really bothering us, especially because we were getting more and more exposure. We were becoming this legitimate podcast that was just sounding worse than we sounded when we started. So we said, to continue this podcast, we need $2,000. We need to upgrade our equipment, our computer, our recording stuff, whatever. But if we can get more than that, then we can also get better cameras. We can do better video coverage because we try and con when other listeners can't. And we can get more remote stuff. And we've got a YouTube channel that we're going to start creating more and more content for. So, yes, we've got our $2,000 goal, which is our bare minimum. And we've got our $4,000 goal, which is kind of like our original concept was we would ask for $3,500. And then we were convinced to just ask for lower just to make sure we had the minimum to continue. So we're only a little bit past that 3,500 gets what we need to sound a little bit better goal. If we can get to the 5,000, 6,000, if we could even brush up against 10,000, then we can really become an amazing media entity for Pathfinder fans. We can just like constant regular videos. We can make sure that, unlike last episode, we never lose any audio content. Just awesome.
Yeah, we do that all the time.
We did it in a Google Hangout that decided 45 minutes was long enough for our hour-and-a-half conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do know all we know all of those things. That being said, we are not going to have a Kickstarter. Only because nobody would give us everything. Nobody in their right mind, at least.
Even if all of our listeners gave us $1, we'd have about $5.
We actually have an anti-Kickstarter where they're paying us to stop.
To stop it, yeah, yeah.
We still didn't reach the goal somehow. I don't know what's worse, people hate us or people just don't care. I'm indifferent.
We have the largest beer-based gaming podcast with a guy named Larry in southeastern Wisconsin. Thank you very much.
That's right.
That's true.
Demographics don't lie.
That's right, demographics don't lie.
I blame Milwaukee.
If you happen to live in Australia. Just saying.
Hi. Good night.
I'd add that caveat.
Have you played the Munchkin Pathfinder?
Munchkin's not really my thing. I like games that are a little bit more robust. So it's actually getting to the point where there's so much Pathfinder content that I have to be selective about what I play. And so Munchkin Pathfinder was an easy pass for me. But my co-host, Param, is a bigger fan of Munchkin, and he has at least picked it up. He hasn't told me what he thinks of the game yet, though.
Isn't that new?
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out limited release at Gen Con. They had like 70 copies.
And
You know what?
I
I read
got one of those.
and sold them out in like 3 seconds.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. I remember a guy walked by and saw it, and then 10 minutes later he was like, I have to go back and buy it. And the pallet was already gone.
No, they didn't. They didn't have a pal. They really did have a very limited number there.
Well, that's what the guy said, though. It was like, it was full, and then 10 minutes later it was already gone.
Yeah.
How did Larry
Wait a
not
second.
pick
There
it
were
up?
2 card games released at Gen Con. Are you getting confused with the adventure card game? Because
No.
that one, they had pallets and pallets, and those sold out really quickly.
Those did too. Yeah.
Wait,
I think it was the
what is
Pathfinder.
that? The adventure
The
card.
adventure card game? Okay, the adventure card game is actually pretty cool. The concept is that if you just don't have the time to roleplay with your friends in a long-term campaign, but you like Pathfinder the World, you like the idea of growing a character, you've got the card game where you play adventures, and the box comes with, I think, 6 separate adventures, which all are, they take place during an adventure that they published for the role-playing game. And so you play as whatever character, you know, the rogue, the fighter, the wizard, the cleric, the standard choices. And you've got your deck of items and attacks and whatnot, spells. And then as you adventure, you pick up new spells and items. And at the end of the game, you discard down to whatever the number of, like, the fighter has a certain number of items and a certain number of whatever. You discard down to that number, but it doesn't have to be the same items you started with. So if you pick up a really kick-ass sword during the adventure, you just toss your boring regular toothpick sword and you replace it so that your deck is more powerful. And as you're playing through, there's also a lot of like managing your deck, because if you run out of cards, you run out of hit points and you die, and then you have to start the character over. So you're adventuring along, you're like, yeah, I just played my 5 best cards, and I've got 2 cards left in my deck, so I gotta back off before I totally die. And I was in the playtest for this, and when the designer, Mike Selinger, was telling me his big plans for it being a long-running campaign, I was like, yeah, that's the first thing that's going to get cut in the playtesting. There's no way, like, who's sort of a card game that expands as you play it? But that's become a major selling point of it, and it seems to be one of the big appeals of the card game.
Cool stuff. So, I have not played that yet. And I will ask. Okay, so you guys, first of all, let's get the podcast website one time for me, please.
All right. Right now it's 35privatesanctuary.com, and it will, when we when the Kickstarter is done, we are relaunching with No Direction as the flagship, because 3.5 Private Sanctuary kind of alienates people that might think we're still a 3.5 D&D podcast, which we're not. We've grown out of that. So part of the Kickstarter is relaunching the website. So it'll be No Direction Show, No Direction Podcast. I forget what the new URL will be, but 35privatesanctuary.com will redirect to the new website. So
Nice.
that's the one you have to worry about for the time being.
All right, easy enough on that. Okay, so Adventure the Card Game, which
Yeah.
I did not get a chance to play at the con. Is that available online still?
It's available online. It's available at all major retailers. It's been fully released.
All right. So I haven't played that yet, so let's try that.
Just
That
like
sounds- I've been fully released for years, dude. So, yeah. So I will have to try to find that. That actually does sound good.
You
I
know
really
Pacific
did-
Rim
All right,
Skyrim?
let's.
Come on now.
Ugh.
What, you didn't need to know that?
Ugh. I can taste that. It's disgusting.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That'd
Hey.
be fully released on you.
Oh.
Did
All right.
you do all right?
Matt, any questions for Ryan?
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Ryan. No.
No, not really.
Fine.
Well, I did. Of course I did. I see it. You notice I actually
He
used
will
his
once
name
it
in
becomes
that.
once it becomes video game porn. That's
Thanks. Well, he board games with us every once in a while.
All right, gentlemen. So, questions for Ryan?
I'd beat him up.
You would beat me up.
First,
This is why we need new equipment.
He is like a toothpick. You would
you were just on our show.
This
Are
is-
you what? You just
That's
finished
not what I said.
No, you did too. You just said I beat him up.
I know, right?
That's what the
No, I
equipment
said I beat him up already with questions.
I know
No,
you
no,
did.
no,
No, that's not what
not a
you said.
physical
That is
abuse
not what
threat.
you
See
said. It
that?
was a physical abuse threat.
That's not the
so
equipment's
much time
fault.
do you
misspoke.
spend playing Pathfinder? Do you find time to actually break out
Anything
the
else?
pen and paper?
Yeah.
Do I find? Oh yeah, for sure. I play 2 to 3 games a week. I've got my home game that's playing an adventure path called Carrion Crown, which is a horror adventure, and we're basically taking on all of the Universal monsters, plus a little Cthulhu.
Nice.
And then, alternating weeks, we play either Kingmaker, which is a really it's one of their most popular adventure paths, where you're just dropped in this swampy area that nobody really likes, and it's infested with bandits. And they're whoever drops you just says go to town, and you slowly start building a city and then eventually a kingdom, and you go to war with all these people that are around you, and it's really fun building a city between adventures. And, building up a population. We've got a bakery called Buns and Sons, a tavern called the Night Nails.
Wow. Okay.
You play much deeper than I do, and I play pretty deep. That's what she said.
That is what she said.
And that's true.
And then that same group, we alternate. We do Skull and Shackles, which is a pirate-themed adventure. And we're still early into that one, but we've already... Let's see. Have we no, we haven't lost any characters in that one. No, okay. So we've almost finished the first book of that adventure, and nobody's died.
Wow.
I know. But we decided to play that one evil. So there's a lot of situations where the game expects that it's going to be morally ambiguous, like capture another ship, and it's like, and now the older crew that you're rivaled with starts killing all the captives, and we're just sitting there like, yeah, we're all right for that.
Oh. Okay. Quick question for you. You mentioned that Pathfinder is talking about maybe coming out with an MMO. Do you know?
Talking about, they kickstarted it. They got over $1 million towards it.
What?
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
Man, I really gotta pay attention to stuff now that I've actually started my new job.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
New things to spend money on.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, it's Pathfinder Online. It's Paizo started a new company called Goblin Works. So it's a subsidiary of Paizo that's specifically running Pathfinder Online, and the main guy behind it is Ryan Dancy, who was one of the marketeers, I believe was his role, on EVE Online.
Oh, nice.
But, for that,
They raised over $1 million, and the game, I'm on their Kickstarter now. I believe it's scheduled to come out in 2015, but I can't find a date.
There's nothing more dangerous than nerds with disposable income.
God's honest there. Holy
They
crap.
quickly become broke
Right.
nerds.
No.
For once they had
We
disposable
just
income.
created a
making money.
powerful Illuminati group.
Right. No, the nerds with disposable income. They have a card for that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
What kind of games have you played over the years?
Besides Pathfinder.
Are you talking about any games? Because I've played them all.
Wow. Okay, so
Well,
now.
what are your
Well,
favorites?
apparently not
You got the
Munchkin.
app.
I mean, I've played a lot of. Actually, I've been pretty reserved with role-playing games. I've mostly played Dungeons and Dragons, which turned into Pathfinder.
Enjoy that now.
I mean, I've
when
played
you
a
get
couple.
older, it won't be as
I've
cool.
played a little Shadowrun, a little
Love Shadow.
Vampire the Gathering. Most of my gaming is board gaming when I'm not playing role-playing games.
Did you ever
This is
play,
our life, Jim. He just.
I
Did
know.
you ever
I know.
play the Dungeon board game that came out?
Hey, don't go not. Do not
Why?
go knocking it
I
down.
tend not to play the ones that are basically fantasy role-playing games, but in board games.
Oh,
'cause
come on,
they're
Milton Bradley.
a role-playing game.
It was Milton Bradley. How could you go wrong with it?
In every way.
Oh, come on.
You're the one who kicked it out of your house,
There's
Tom.
great
I
ones
did,
out there
actually.
like the EverQuest role-playing game and
Actually,
classics
I
like
do
that.
really like Lords of Waterdeep, which is a game Wizards of the Coast came out.
That is a
with.
great game. I
Yeah.
have that game.
Have you guys talked about it on the show?
No, we have not talked about it on
I
the
gotta get
show.
these guys to play it. They won't play anything above Risk and Monopoly. They're kind of or the
Oh,
occasional side.
Yeah, right?
Wow,
We love
dude.
Bang.
What?
I'm not gonna lie. Damn straight, we love Bang.
Wow.
I mean,
He just threw us all under the bus repeatedly.
I'm saying like you know.
That's Jim for ya.
If it's a German game, they won't touch it.
I like
those
the-
are all the great ones.
I like the one where you're running a
Style,
brewery.
yes. I mean, it's an American publisher, but yeah, it's a worker placement game. But the theme is so awesome. Like, you're not playing the adventurers like you usually do in a fantasy game. You're playing the people giving them quests, and you've got all these terrible motivations, but you're sending them on noble quests. So you get to feel like this dark overlord that's just manipulating the naive heroes and sending them to kill the beholder. That really is your rival, and you're slowly building the city, expanding your influence. No, it's a really smart game, and it's a really different take on a fantasy board game.
Nice.
It's a bit like this podcast, really.
The Dark Overlord.
Right.
All right, so what's our next thing, Rob? Now that we've kind of given Ryan the one for. Sorry
Am
about
I
that,
allowed
Ryan.
to talk again?
All right, wait. One more time.
Apparently.
No, you're not. Ryan, one more time. What is the URL of your site?
35privatesanctuary.com.
And so if you and so after the Kickstarter, even if they go to that, they will be redirected to the new Pathfinder one as well.
That's right.
All right. That's my job, just to ask that question.
That is his job.
Appreciate it.
We only give him one thing to do, and he does it well.
Hey, somebody's got to do it. I'm like an idiot savant.
It's
I'm
like
good at this.
Sigourney Weaver on Galaxy Quest. You know, she's a voice of the computer.
It's like,
so
one job. I got one job.
It's a stupid job.
But it's a job. All right. So, Rob, what's the next topic tonight?
Speaking of my job, oh, it's time for what we've been playing. We kind of discussed this a little bit.
That was pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
A USB hookah.
Larry, you're off topic. This is
I
why
know.
we have a hard
No,
time.
but you know, if they're watching from the video, they're like, "What are these guys doing? The USB device? They're smoking."
Yeah, we're like the caterpillar in Alice.
All right,
Alice
fine.
in Wonderland.
For those who are not on the video version,
Oh,
of
you're
this,
gonna love the video of this.
Jim has a USB hookah.
Because we're geeks.
He is super geeky.
That is super geeky, dude. I love. Where'd you
And
get
everybody's vaping out.
Oh, I have lots of different mods.
No,
All right.
no, this is okay.
I gotta
All
try
right,
that.
you gotta try this next. Okay, but
On
you gotta hold the
topic.
button down there when you do it.
Yeah,
On topic.
On topic. What
topic.
have we been playing?
What have we been playing?
There you go.
Let me tell you.
Wait.
While he's
Yeah, well, he's sucking on the hookah.
sucking, I just started playing Payday
It
2
hits heavy.
on the PC. I didn't buy it for
Really?
the longest time. I've been fighting it and fighting it and
What'd
fighting it. Payday 2.
Oh.
You know, the bank robbery.
Yeah, sure.
First-person shooter, yeah. It is really, really fun.
I think a friend of mine actually got that.
It encourages really amazingly stupid behavior in people.
Really?
Myself included. I play okay. Yeah. But if you have teammates that run away and do stupid stuff, you're pretty much dead. And, you know, if you don't have like-minded teamwork, you're pretty much dead. Which means, since you're generally randomly put together,
God damn it, Tom.
you're pretty much dead every round, really. But anyway, we successfully knocked over a couple of jewelry stores. That was pretty good. I've enjoyed it.
All right.
So, Matt Tisha, what have you been playing?
Besides the hookah.
Oh God. I have been playing so much Final Fantasy 14, it's actually kind of sickening.
Oh my god, I started playing it.
Right, you know what I've been playing for the last month? Final Fantasy 14, and that's it.
It does it automatically.
I was playing Assassin's Creed 3 finally, but I got Final Fantasy 14. It's like, this game's dumb. I have to go fight bugs. Yeah, I've been playing that game a lot. I actually play it with a controller, which is hard. Not once you get used to it. Once you get used to it, it's really intuitive.
Oh,
I find it
How
are
you
you using?
Huh? Oh, I'm using my my PS3 controller.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay. You got.
Because you can set it up for that.
Yeah.
You've got the
Continue, Matt.
There would be a
Continue, Matt. Continue.
sorry, long day. And because I have this app that'll let me hook up my PlayStation 3 controller up to my computer and map all the buttons and all that good stuff.
Which
And,
we have video of on the website.
Yeah, I thank you again for posting that, Rob.
You're welcome. I do my job occasionally.
In my old crappy apartment. So I've been
Yeah,
playing
that roach was awesome.
Yeah, right. I've been playing that on the with the DS3, and it's been really fun.
3DS?
DS3, DualShock 3.
DualShock 3.
Yeah. That's
So we can get that together.
nerds. Yeah, I've just been really enjoying that game. And once my free 30 days are up, I'm probably gonna just subscribe because I've been dumping so much time into it because it's a hell of a lot of fun. And I got a really good deal on it because Green Man Gaming, when I bought it, had a 25% off coupon, so I got the collector's edition.
What class were you playing?
Oh, I've got a.
Job, sorry.
My Arcanist is 30, and I picked up Conjurer. I just got that to level 10. I'm going for Scholar.
Or Scholar, sorry.
Yeah, I'm headed to Scholar because my work friends needed a healer. So
That will do it.
Yeah, so I'm headed towards Scholar. I mean, if there are any fans that want to play, I'm on the Hyperion server. Just say that you listen to the podcast, and I'll friend you and bring you into Arling Shells.
That'll get you a lot of response.
Oh, I'm sure.
Or you can go where the real men are at Balmog Legacy, and you can look up me, and I hit you up there.
Can wear a dress.
Right.
Hey, I do wear.
Oh,
a
the
dress.
gauntlet just got
Standing
thrown
in front
out.
of the camera.
If I'm going to run through a 3D world, okay, and I have to look at the back end of my character for hours after hours, I'm gonna have a hot chick.
Oh, don't worry. I made one of those cat people.
That actually makes sense.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
Yeah, I made one of the cat people.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely made the childlike race.
Yeah.
That's not creepy.
What doesn't make
Not
sense,
at all. Not at all.
doesn't make sense when you you pick a woman character who's a zombie. See, now you've really kind of defeated.
No, you didn't.
No, I know zombie chicks.
Either that or if you shave your hand.
For God's sake, can we please get through a segment?
He just did. He just finished his game thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Travis, what have you been playing?
I picked up first gen Asus Transformer for $120 with the little docking station for it, the keyboard. So a really good deal on that. So we're kind of playing around and getting that set up. I've been picking up really good deals on Craigslist lately. I got a Asus G7 III for like $350.
What's a G7 III?
The same one as I have.
No, I now have an AC.
I sold him.
He sold it to me.
I sold him one.
Dude,
Yeah, it's an
bad.
It's an i7, 8 gigs of RAM, a dedicated 5870 or 5850 with a gig of video RAM. Yeah, for $350. The only thing was bad battery and problems with CD-ROM drive.
Right, and I'll buy a new freaking battery.
Yeah, so, but
God, if you find something like that, please let me
I always
know.
keep an eye out. There's another one I've been trying to take a look at. And like the thing is I'm comfortable with the Asuses because I've stripped them down to the motherboard already. So if there's any issue, I know what to do.
Right.
Like I'm very comfortable with that. So yeah, I got my dad hooked up with that because I figured he needed to be.
I do need a good gaming laptop.
Yeah,
I need to see, and I need one too because last week you guys.
Yes,
had
but he's
Killing
my
Floor.
son.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm not.
So, but
I'm not.
I also, I picked up, that within the past couple weeks I've done that. I picked up those two things. I also got a little Moga controller for like $10, brand new.
Nice.
I keep finding all these like really great
dude.
things.
I mean, it was like not even you.
Yeah, not even
Wow.
new. It came with like a bunch of Android games with it too. So I've been playing trying out some Android gaming is really different on a tablet. Like I've never really really
It's very different.
played a whole lot on our tablet, so it was kind of cool. I'm kind of getting used to that. So I've just been downloading crap tons of weird stuff. Dead Trigger 2 came out this week.
Oh my god.
One of us. One of us.
I'm still mainly a PC gamer. I'm not gonna, the Android's pretty lame.
No, yeah, the gaming sphere on Android is pretty.
It's not bad.
It's
There's a
okay.
lot of cool,
I mean,
there's a lot of cool stuff that, it's nice to have something that'll take on the go and everything. And
yeah, I mean, if you want to milk your nostalgia teat, emulators and Crazy Taxi's on there.
I bought Jet Set Radio already.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I picked up Crazy Taxi and I was
Yeah.
like, yay.
So, but yeah, I've been kind of delving into a lot of weird little random things lately, and
that's it. Patrick, what have you been playing?
I actually just got done downloading PlanetSide 2, and I was playing with Travis and I was playing with Travis and Alex last night for like 6 hours.
yeah, except for Patrick didn't know how to leave a goddamn squad.
Well, no, I was just shooting.
I was calling you, leaving
You
you
were a
Facebook
manager at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You're supposed to manage.
Yeah,
I'm not a man.
I sent him private messages, that I messaged him on Facebook, that I called his phone. I was like, dude, you're online.
I
Why
was
the
in
hell?
the zone.
Yeah.
No, you're not in the zone.
Krause
You're
and
not playing.
You were zoned out.
I was.
But Krause and I were just trying to say, hey, come join our squad, come join our squad, come join our squad.
Well, I was accepting it and it wasn't going.
Yeah, because you were already in a
Fuck
squad.
it.
You know, I honestly didn't know that there was a shortcut button to duck and put your hands above your head in that game. That's pretty impressive. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's called a politician move.
Oh.
Yeah, he just got in PlanetSide 2.
I've been playing
I'll
PlanetSide.
play with you,
know,
Patrick,
it
don't worry.
makes me angry.
As many things
It's
do.
chaos. It's pure chaos.
It is a very
Oh my
chaotic game.
God.
I
It's a
used
lot
to
of
play
fun.
it religiously when I was PlanetSide 1. I was in a big company and everything like that. The problem is that in PlanetSide 1, you could set up strategy, you could do flanks, you could do everything,
Yeah.
you could view the battlefield, and you could make a tactical decision. In PlanetSide 2, you can't go 6 feet without putting a knee into a boulder. I mean, seriously.
That is God's honest, yes.
I mean, you can't. There are very few places that snipers can take opportunity. Cover is practically, there's hard cover, but there's no, tactical advancement cover and stuff like. Either it's bigger than you or it doesn't exist.
Right. You're either in a building, where you have cover in a building, or you're out in the open, running like a motherfucker.
Or on top of a mountain.
Yes, no, you are.
Depending on the world that you're into,
There are no fights on the big planes.
Yeah.
If you go there, you occasionally get the mag rider that's
Yeah,
it used to be the day you could take it in, and I was a pro at taking the mag rider and mag mowing. I would mag mow entire companies down. And you
That's
can't
what
do
she
that.
said?
That's what she said.
Okay,
That doesn't make
so
any
that's
sense.
what Patrick's been playing.
All right,
John, what have you been playing?
there's a
Oh,
skip
no,
right
you-
behind
you've
you,
been
sir.
playing.
I'll get back to me in a minute.
No, you're coming first.
Well, evidently,
Yeah.
I'm going first. What have I been playing this week? Well, I tried to play one night. We really wanted to get a Killing Floor going. Besides,
I spent all that time setting up a server.
Besides Time Warner.
I bought it.
Besides Time. Oh,
No.
nice.
It was $12.50
I know
for
you-
all of it.
Serious.
How could I not?
Yeah. So Sunday
Anyway.
night, we wanted to get a game of Killing Floor going. We haven't played in a while. We had a big crowd going. We just watched Walking Dead. So
Even I was there.
We were in a zombie killing mood. And then Time Warner decides that they're going to crash repeatedly. I mean,
Sunday night.
Yeah, I heard the whole region was hit.
yeah, well, and evidently it wasn't just Sunday night.
Yeah,
It was
no, it
throughout the
happened
week.
Sunday night, and I think it happened again on Tuesday, and then the really bad one was Thursday, and I spent an hour and a half on the phone with Time Warner. 45 minutes of it was with a level 3 support technician who was like, there's definitely something wrong. I don't know why they haven't announced an outage to me yet.
They didn't announce one Sunday night either, but we kept dropping out. So we were trying to play, again, Killing Floor, but that's what I've been trying
We've
to
got
play.
our own freaking server. We can't even get a game.
No,
together.
because the server wasn't hosted locally. We had the server someplace else.
And also, even on the Time Warner cable website, it didn't declare an outage anywhere in the Midwest.
No, it was. There clearly was.
They had finally
They
sent
might
the email on
be
Thursday
on
night.
staff
Like
while here.
the guy didn't hang up with me on purpose until he knew that his leads had confirmed an outage and sent it out. And I was like, okay, good. He was like,
Yeah, now-
they
now-
figured it out. It's only been like this for several days.
Yeah. And this is why Time Warner Cable cannot be a company anymore.
Yeah,
be
good
fair.
luck with that. All right, so Jonah, what have you been playing?
A bunch of Skyrim.
A bunch of Skyrim?
Yeah.
Define a bunch of Skyrim.
All right, can
Like,
you hand me that black
In my
plate over
free
there?
time, which was nothing because of algebra, I play Skyrim.
One more time.
Ridiculous. Okay.
I play Skyrim.
Instead of
Thank you.
Minecraft, anything else.
What else do you
Including
play?
algebra.
that was the
All he
algebra
does
part
is that and algebra. I mean,
Algebra,
really.
I mean, it's taking up a lot of my free time.
Oh my
Stupid
God.
algebra
I don't
getting in the
like-
way
Yeah,
of
of gaming.
Real world
I think you should have a
problems.
talk
Not
with
enough
your
free
teacher.
time.
Yeah, really.
Listen.
Yeah, you're cutting to my kids' gaming time.
I already
You really
did.
need to
Listen,
stop this.
he's never going to learn to fly drones.
I should point
For
out
algebra.
that you need to
He's
tell your
going
teacher
to
that
need
order of
these
operations
skills.
is a lie, and you can actually do order of operations in any preferred method as long as you take and apply the appropriate amount of parentheses.
I'm really good.
Anyway.
at
He's right about that. All right.
Man.
So, Larry, one game. What have you been playing?
Well, I haven't had a lot of time to play games, so I've just been enjoying a little bit of food fight here and there.
Oh, your classic one?
Yeah, where you're just running across for some ice cream.
Sweet. Well, Atari 7800 action there?
Play.
Oh,
Yes.
better on the 7800.
Nice. Ryan, what you been playing?
I haven't been playing it this week, but I did recently finish Deadpool.
Oh, that's like.
Oh.
Oh, too bad Mike's not here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Deadpool.
you like-
It was a good.
Deadpool is so awesome.
Right below your feet.
You
Well,
could
that's pretty
easily
nice.
just be Mike.
Hey,
I know.
do your
No,
Brian voice.
you would have to say the D word a lot more.
Deadpool,
To be Mike. Yes. Yeah, no, the
Little
other
bit.
D.
Okay,
What I was showing is I've ramped it up. See.
actually,
Yeah.
you had
So
a.
anyway,
Give me.
So, hey,
Deadpool is it's
never
pretty
mind.
hilarious, isn't it?
this is
It's
gonna.
hilarious, it's kind of sad, which is perfect Deadpool for me. He's not just crazy and over the top, there's also this terrible, terrible backstory to this character that he pretends isn't really there. And so it just, if you put a little thought into it, Deadpool's a really tragic character when he's killing people by the thousands.
Bottom button.
It's pretty
That's already
tragic.
on.
Preach!
Yeah.
It's written by Daniel
Oh,
Way,
do it
who was
again.
doing the Deadpool series before Brian Hussein took over. So, and yeah, I really enjoyed that series. So the humor is very consistent, the storyline's very consistent. Just in general, that's a
Away from the
Deadpool I
tripod.
really was drawn to, and I thought the game really fulfilled it. Like,
Hey,
you don't
hey,
go more than a
come check
couple of
this out.
levels before gameplay completely changes, and you just have to accept
Whatever
that
direction
you're
okay.
kind of playing a psychopath, and this is just par for the course with this game.
Come on, take a video.
Brother, I'm not playing.
Yeah. Rob doesn't have to play psychopath.
Okay.
So, did you say you finished that one up?
I finished it, yeah, and
Here, put it on your eyes
I
where
must
it's
have
square.
played the last
It's
two
square?
fights about 10,000 times. It was so frustrating.
Okay.
I've heard that like everybody who starts that game finishes it.
Yeah, well, it's a relatively short game, and it's
That's
just
ridiculous. That's
it's so well written. So what they saved on the game design budget, they made up for in the script. But I think that they padded the game by just making the last two fights extremely difficult. And one of the last two fights is just fighting all the bosses from earlier in the game in one big fight. And what's worse is that there's a character named Vertigo, I think, and her whole purpose in the fight is just making your screen kind of a greenish tinge. And so you're fighting a really hard fight, and you kind of want to vomit.
You see what?
Thank you, Patrick. I really appreciate the sound effect.
All right, we have
For
video
those who
now.
don't know vomit, that's what it
that's-
sounds like.
Patrick is our special effects expert.
No, he's not fully.
He's our sexpert, if you will.
Whoa!
Oh.
Only
Wait,
on
wait, wait.
Wednesdays.
What's the opposite of a sexpert?
That was amazingly rough.
Okay,
No,
Rob.
we actually.
Rob, what have you been playing?
I already said one.
Okay, then Jim. We're gonna ask Jim.
Oh, you think Jim?
No, because Jim was setting up his gear so we could see what Jim's been playing.
Okay, well, right now, for people that are listening, we have an Oculus Rift in the shop. And I'm running a roller coaster demo right now. and he's about to have a roller coaster moment. So right now, actually, what I've been doing is just basically messing around with the Oculus Rift for the past week.
And
And it's
thoughts?
It's pretty awesome. I'm already working on how to hack it. There's some guys that it's an LVDS panel at 1280 by 800. I just need an LVDS with the correct connector and a 7-inch size, which apparently the
Hold on.
Hold on. Okay.
Okay.
All right, got you, buddy. Okay, so he's having a...
He's going down. Oh man, he's banking.
This would be the first throw up on the show not related to being
drinking.
Yeah, alcohol related.
Oh, this makes you old.
It's a good thing we added video to the podcast.
Yeah, because right now,
Everybody just enamored.
strapped into an Oculus Rift
And dead
There
air.
you go.
and dead air.
Okay, that.
So Jonah,
Oh, that made me.
So Jonah, how did you feel about that?
Ooh.
That was like really cool and it made me
All right, who's next?
I will.
Oh.
I eventually want to.
Oh.
Yeah, not.
All right, so anyway,
Alright, so anyway.
Wait your turn.
Well, that's what Jim's been playing.
So
That's pretty
alright,
sweet.
that is
Pretty
pretty
sweet.
cool.
Make sure you set it on your eyes. Put it on like
Yeah,
that.
not
Okay.
until I've
Sweet.
taken.
Put the back on.
Sorry.
yeah.
All right, remember he was facing
I
that way
couldn't
when I
watch
started it, so
Transformers
you need
2
to
in
face
the
Face
theater
that
without
way.
getting sick to my stomach.
Okay.
Speaking of,
Speaking
it's time for scary games.
scary games.
Oh, this is scary.
Scary game. So Patrick,
You can look all the way around, yeah.
Oh, my Lanta.
Are you scared?
Oh my Lanta! Wow.
Don't let him
What just
bump
happened?
into the Pabst
Oh,
sign, will ya? He's prone to.
Oh, my Lanta.
wow.
Woo! Oh,
Stop. It's just creepy. Now it's just getting creepy.
Yeah,
That was just creepy. Stop.
he's getting way too aroused.
He's way too excited. He's way too excited. And
Everybody clear the fuck back, Patrick is aroused.
exactly. And he is aroused. I can see from this angle.
Whoa, what?
Why do we have to wear the Friars
No!
costume today of all days?
Anyway,
Anyway,
yes, scary games.
Matt.
That
Matt.
was awesome.
All right.
What's your scary game?
Now hand me the in that bag right down there. There's
Well,
a set of headphones.
I don't do
Just reach
very
in there.
well with horror stuff.
It's like in the middle pocket.
But
There
I
you are.
played a little bit of Doom 3 and was like, no.
Yeah, well,
Really?
Yeah, I can't, I just can't do it.
The movement in it, or just that it was kind of
Just the
Larry,
freakiness.
It's already going
I don't
through a
do horror
so wait
stuff. I
until
really
get
don't.
too immersed.
Sorry.
The other
No, wait,
one
I'm
that I
ready.
did, I was playing Fatal Frame on the original Xbox.
That is a solid horror
That
game.
was, it was like fun, but the day that we were playing it, at one point we were zoomed in. I'm sure I've told the story on the podcast before, but I don't care. We were zoomed in all the way, like looking around a room, like
See over here?
in the camera viewfinder,
Alright.
which is a first-person view with a camera frame around it. And we swung around slowly, and as we turned around in this hallway, a ghost with a broken neck was shuffling towards us, and its face was right in the frame. So
You're
we
gonna
freaked
have
out
to
and we turned off
wait
the
for a
Xbox.
second. You're gonna be facing that direction
Jeez.
over there. Towards the Pabst cooler. Okay, go ahead. And,
Patrick,
go ahead
scary
and slap-
game.
Go ahead and slap that on.
Scary games. Wait,
Okay,
facing
so now
scary
you're on,
games?
okay.
You were talking
Yeah,
scary
yeah.
games. Jim's talking ocular, but we're talking scary games.
Scary games. Man, I haven't played anything really.
Continue. Stop.
Sorry, I haven't played anything really scary lately. Not that I can know.
My hand. Oh, okay.
No, really, no scary games at all. No,
I'll tell you what was scary. When I looked up your role.
Whoa,
Just saying.
whoa.
Whoa!
Kind of deep down there.
You,
Okay?
you, you,
Get him! Oh my god!
you probably should have worn something under that robe.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to pull a Larry.
Okay. So, no,
Fair enough.
all right. So, let me ask you something recently. What games did you
Oh,
find scary?
Brontosaurus in there.
Shoot.
What's that one game that was for the Xbox? Basically, you would play at midnight or something late at night with the volume all the way up and just creep through a house or a hotel or something.
Okay, you know,
Yeah. Wow. That was.
you're
kind
supposed to
of
be
That's
telling
so
us
bad.
the game.
I know.
No, I'm sorry. That was kind of vague as fuck.
I don't remember names that well either. So
He's blocked it out. He's been permanently harmed.
yeah, it was. It was.
So the game.
Travis!
I really am a big fan of GameCube's Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem.
That is really cool.
It's an IP, unfortunately, that really needs to come back. They for the time, I don't think it'd be really as scary now because some of the tricks it played kind of break the fourth wall. But the way they did it, it was kind of designed for that area. Like, it would change the volume on your TV. It would pretend to delete your save. So basically, it was a survival horror game, but you made your way through these dungeons and puzzles, and you had a sanity meter as well as health. And when your sanity meter went down, the game would start to break the fourth wall, and like you'd walk into a room, and your body would explode or something, or it would pretend to delete your save when you saved your game, or like you'd show up on the ceiling, or blood would start running down the walls. And one time it would like pretend to turn off the TV or like adjust the volume and things like that. It did a really good job at kind of breaking the fourth wall that way, and I really think it's a very interesting take to the horror genre. So I highly recommend giving it a try if you haven't tried it. The controls are a little wonky, kind of like a lot of the older Resident Evil survival horror kind of stuff, but it's well worth giving a shot.
All right. And what have I been playing? I'm sorry, horror games. Okay, so
Jesus Christ.
No, I agree. I've never really. Nothing really freaks me out horror games. Nothing really.
How about that time when we were playing Stunt Driver and I put my hand on your leg?
Okay, that was kind of scary. Okay.
Rob was playing Ambulance.
But
everyone else was playing Stunt Driver.
That's a different kind of scary. No, games. I have yet to.
Forbidden Forest.
No.
Fear was actually pretty good for,
Oh, that's another one. Played that demo and I was like,
absolutely dark. And
I'm sorry, no. None of the games really freak me out like that. To me, it's all slasher porn stuff anyways. And
Who hurt you when you were a kid?
Everybody.
Everybody hurt me when I was a kid.
Right.
So
I always forget.
Exactly.
It was the man.
No, so I just don't find any of that all that immersive. That being said, I mean, I will have anxiety during certain games, but only because shit, I'm gonna get killed off here. And I'm gonna have to start all over again.
That is a totally different thing.
But it's anxiety, right? It's not fear. No, I don't really. I don't find games scary. I just don't. I mean, there's. I've yet.
That's because your house is always loud and distracting.
Yes, that's very true.
I bet that's a lot to do with it. You cannot
happens.
turn off the light.
If I was in the house by myself at any given time with nothing else going on around me, maybe I could get into a scary game. Oh, speaking of scary.
JJ!
Speaking of scary.
Ryan, we did warn you. People have been wandering in during this entire show. So the show went from 6 people to about 10 now. So
sorry, I have a job.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I have a job too, and I was still late.
So since the show started, Matt's wandered in, Travis has wandered in, JJ's wandered in, and the show just keeps growing as we do this. So,
but we never end on.
But my house is not quiet.
So
so
Robin the Chaos has gone from Foo Fighters to Chumbawamba.
Yes, exactly it.
I get knocked down
all the time, but it gets back up again.
Yes.
Someone understands us.
Either that or the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra.
That's right. Hey, JJ, since you came in, how about a scary game for us?
Scary ass game.
Silent Hill 2. For the PlayStation. PlayStation 2.
I found Silent Hill to be kind of scary.
Those games,
when I was playing.
and the only games that freaked me out otherwise were Resident Evil. And those stopped scaring me after the second one.
Yeah, Resident Evil was never that scary.
Every Silent Hill I've ever played, it's just like, I know it's coming.
I
know it's coming, but oh shit! Oh.
I played the Resident Evil games way too early when I was a kid. Because like the first one happened like the first incident at the manor happened like early July of 1998. So I was a kid. I turned 9 and I freaked my shit because I was like. So, like, I legitimately was scared that this was going to happen, and I was like, I knew it probably wouldn't, but I was a kid, I was like 9 years old, so...
You totally scarred the crap out of your kid!
I played the first one at Jimmy's wedding, that's the first time I played Resident Evil, I was like 7, and like, the first time I played it, I was scared for 2 years. That was going to happen.
Every day!
After 1998 passed, I was like, okay, I think I'm good. So I played the second one when I was about 11 or 12 on my birthday. I was like, I'm glad I didn't die to the zombie apocalypse kind of thing. And I was terrified. I was legitimately terrified of Resident Evil after I played it, and it happened in 1998.
God, were you slow?
They had the real opening, the real like actors on the cutscene.
Yeah.
So the opening, which
cutscenes were great.
yeah,
They were.
I mean, after you started the game, it got really cheesy and the voice acting got real bad. But the opening of that, they used real actors, and like it was scary.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Put that on over. Okay, I'm gonna start there.
And have you ever seen the Japanese version of the opening?
No.
No.
There's like
Hold on.
4 or 5 scenes cut out, and it makes it 10 times more terrifying.
Really?
Oh yes.
Holy crap.
In the beginning one, there's
Did I
a
still
part
use
where
those crappy-
where they get the dogs, where like the dogs coming at him, and you just see the one guy be like, ah! You just like hear it. In the Japanese one, it like rips him apart, and there's blood everywhere. Like just an example of one of these scenes that's not included in the American version.
Apparently, Japanese people are much more hardy at facing terror. Because
Apparently.
They just saw much screwed up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
There it is, right there.
Exactly. That's what
Disclaimer: we do not discriminate in any race. Okay, continue.
I mean. Those Japanese people. I mean,
you know,
Patrick.
yeah.
Scary ass game. Yeah,
You already did, Patrick.
I did.
Jonah, scary ass game.
Amnesia.
Oh, good one.
Never played it.
Oh,
The Dark
no,
Descent?
we
Oh,
played it.
wow.
Oh,
We just
man.
said Amnesia without explaining anything.
I forgot.
It was scary.
Oh.
Why?
Wow.
Let's just put that on the back of the box.
It was
'cause they-
scary, man.
Yeah.
Visuals,
I
the
just
soundtrack,
Quoted,
the
it was Scary Man,
storyline.
IGN, 4 stars.
It's like a miniature Lebowski.
What did they do? I mean, was it the lighting effect?
It was scary.
Things
man.
crap pop out, music. What?
Oh,
All
shit.
of it.
Oh, God.
Rob's
Okay,
going down!
He's going down!
That was awesome! I'm
Rob.
so sorry. No wonder
Okay.
you people can't control
See,
yourselves
so-
when you're on this thing.
So this is a podcast, and we're doing visual stick.
Hey, Rob, put that
Hey,
on.
Rob,
It's visual now.
Video.
No. It's still a podcast.
We're just
Oh
gonna
my
have to-
God, shit! Oh my
One
God!
day,
Alright,
probably
alright,
swap it
alright.
over.
All right,
Larry.
you know,
I'm like a wooden cart.
what comes to mind, and it wasn't super scary, but
You're all like ready.
Phantasmagoria was in its early days. That was a pretty scary
Mind if I give it a
game,
shot?
you know?
No,
It was meant
go
to be a
ahead.
scary game too.
I'm
you know,
gonna
it was-
reset it real
and
quick.
it just, you know, it
everyone
was
seems to come in at a
supposed
different
to be
angle.
like a horror film
Yeah.
that you played, and
Oh no,
it
you
was
gotta be
pretty
standing
effective.
for this.
it
Yeah.
was
Moderately effective.
First time it was good. Here's my
I was really stuck in the mechanics of that game. You know, it was.
Okay.
I'm moving around.
This
I'm
will go on your
kinda
head
getting
after
stuck.
the
Go
last
ahead.
disc.
Put the
It was
disc
it
over
was
your
for
eyes
those
so you can
who
clear your hair out
are
of
not
it.
ancient. It was
Mhm.
6 CD
Oh, yeah.
CD-ROMs, and the 6th one, it was sort of the
Okay.
climax
Square it over your
conclusion,
eyes so you
and
get the
I don't know if you
parasite
played
one.
that far, but it
Alright,
got pretty bad. There was
right
like
now.
beheading and stuff, and you know.
Alright, so here we go.
You know, there was like a chase scene and stuff, and you know, it
Okay,
was,
give it a second. and
the
video-
ending
video's
was pretty
going proper.
intense.
I think I had it on the Apple II GS.
Oh, dude. Nice.
The bunch of
Brian,
stuff.
scary game?
I played Walk Through a House with cats jumping at you once. That was pretty awesome. Everywhere
What?
you went.
What the hell?
You turn a corner, cat jumps in. No, I'm making it up. I'm sorry.
What the hell?
I was gonna say, that sounds pretty scary to me, actually.
That's a pretty scary game. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I am playing in a horror-based role-playing game right now, but we've turned it more into to Army of Darkness, basically.
Oh,
In a
nice.
fantasy
Still awesome.
setting.
No, more awesome. Army of Darkness, freaking brilliant.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, so unfortunately, as much as our GM is trying to set a really creepy tone and really bring up, like right now we're in a Lovecraft adventure, and we're just kind of making fun of all the NPCs, and doing, it's a cakewalk through most of the combat, except we got attacked by a swarm of ticks that was way harder than it should have been, and that was embarrassing.
There's more than one kind of fear.
Yeah, well, ticks will do it too.
Ticks will make the tick.
Go around and
Oh, wait. Then it was Leisure Suit Larry.
Oh, no. We're done. You know, we are banning Leisure Suit Larry from being mentioned for at least 3 episodes.
No, we're not.
Why, is that a scary game?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You never played
Just in a totally different way.
Yeah, very scary in a different way.
Sure, you know what? Dead Space.
That should be mentioned. I've heard only good things about
That is a crap your pants kind of game. I used to play it in the dark alone, and I'd just be all twittery.
Mind you, he would play it in the dark alone with his pants around his ankles.
Yeah.
I play everything in the dark alone with my
You
pants
did say
down.
beat.
I can't turn the heat up enough on my house to do that.
We're starting to talk a lot more about naughty things on this show.
Okay. Try to center a square
Okay,
over
so-
your face as you can.
It's time for
It's time for?
What Have We Learned?
Oh shit.
I know.
Okay.
It's a test. It's not a
Right there,
podcast.
right
It's a test.
Right there.
Well, let's start with Ryan, actually. Ryan, I can bet what you've learned tonight, but we'll ask you anyways. Ryan, what have you learned tonight?
I've learned one of you was Jim, one of you was Matt. That's about all I remember.
That's all you need to remember.
Thanks,
Yes!
Ryan.
It's actually a
God.
really good time. I was
Your audio's cutting out a little bit, man.
a little bit worried, but I brought up EtherCon at the beginning, but maybe forget.
I love uncomfortable silence on this podcast.
Thank you,
we
Jack.
get it a lot.
We are never doing anything
Oh.
again.
Yeah.
We interviewed was it poor Joanna from
From
Standard action.
Standard Action. So the Joanna, what's her last name?
There you go.
Oops, we
Way to
lost
go,
him.
Pat.
No, we lost our guest. As I was talking to him.
That way, or that way.
Well,
I
it did
didn't
last
see you.
an hour.
Also, you're standing right. Your stomach is right in
Oh,
the
I
camera.
thought
you were talking about you.
All right, so Ryan,
Shooting-
so we're interviewing
I'm
Joanna
not-
from
okay,
Standard
thank you.
Action.
Oh,
Now she also had never listened to the show. We drink really heavily.
Your stomach was right in that camera, and you were standing in front of this one.
Man, I'm
doing a
kinda like-
show.
Yeah.
You can imagine how that ended.
Trying to throw
To give you an
Yeah, I don't mess with you, especially if you were to
She
like.
did.
Almost
She-
quite well.
She did,
Yeah.
considering.
We're like, oh man, I feel bad.
I didn't
We
think,
only have more than one person with
at
us.
first,
Yeah,
I
she
wasn't
put that someone in the
adjusting.
cast.
Well, I think there was
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
difference
yeah.
of place. We're not very serious.
So wait, did you design
She
that?
was pretty serious.
Huh?
Did you design that run?
Oh no,
Just
no,
a
no.
difference.
I haven't
There is
done
the
any
fact that
cool
the
things
beer
with
is
it yet.
probably the
That's
more
for
important
later.
part of this
I've only had it for a
podcast.
couple days.
To
Yes.
give you an example, we're on our
But I really
topic,
like
and
that
Larry
interview. That's
just
one of my
opened another
favorites.
beer.
That was a
It's
good
only a
interview.
Pabst. It's only a Pabst Light, so it's not a real beer.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Matt, what have you learned?
Oh
I
boy.
wrapped it up with
You're not Matt. Matt, what have you learned?
I was supposed to be.
I've learned that apparently Oculus Rift is the shit, and I will have to try it after taking Dramamine.
You stole mine.
You can say it anyway. You tried it, you dick.
I've learned that no matter where you go, there you are.
Thank you, Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah, really, we are good with that. That was a really bad 80s movie reference, but I'm good with it.
Yeah, I like it. You know what? What's kind of scary is I brought up Buckaroo Banzai today in general conversation. That's terrifying.
No. I mean, really, think about it.
You're in front of the camera.
It's not just Buckaroo Banzai. It's not just him. It's him and the Hong Kong Cavaliers.
That's true.
Okay.
And with a flux capacitor.
All right. There's more to it.
I don't
You know?
think there is a flux capacitor.
Marty and the folks
Yeah, there
capacitor.
is.
Marty had the,
They actually took it from the set. They were shooting at the same time. They actually borrowed it from
Did
the set.
they?
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
did not
Flux
realize
capacitors
that.
in there. Watch it. It's like right there.
When he
JJ.
goes
Yes.
in between space.
Yes.
Yes.
JJ, what have you learned?
Video is fun.
JJ,
mess with
did you
Tom,
show
right?
your butt cheeks
Right.
in another episode?
Yeah, he did.
Look straight
Not,
ahead.
not
Not
yet.
exactly.
Not yet. Not exactly.
It's
We
gonna be a little
haven't
bit
gotten
weird.
hopped up enough
You gotta
yet.
find the center.
Travis, come closer. What have
Give me
you
a couple more
learned?
minutes
What have
on
I
that.
learned?
Okay.
You're like at the far
Don't
mic and
trust
not
me,
the
nothing's
near
wrong
mic,
with
and
it
the
right
far
now.
mic's off right now.
All right, here's the headset.
Yeah, that's okay.
Just set up.
It's
more
more
immersive
immersive than the haircut.
Probably. Okay.
Probably for the best.
For a
Why do you
second.
wear
Um,
headphones? Why you-
I learned, yeah, this is, I came to
Transition
chaos.
open your eyes.
I can't leave you guys for like 2 seconds.
It is chaos all the time.
All the
That
time.
is true.
All the time.
24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never was every name before.
And this is why we can't have nice things.
Oh yeah.
We don't
You had-
have nice things.
You had one job.
Patrick, what have you learned?
I learned that
Give her the contrast thing on my display. so I
that
can-
having objects and games going at the same time as podcast is really distracting, but yet very, very fun.
That thing is
Very
awesome,
fun.
though. I
It is. It was awesome.
Yes.
I was like, what the heck's with you people? And then I'm like, on it.
Oh, this is
Oh.
freaking amazing, gentlemen.
Now you're
Isn't it?
I don't need to go to Vegas anymore.
Did you?
Now, once
Did
I
you
put
get
a 1080p display in it, it's
Yeah.
gonna go even
Cool.
more.
Tom, what have you learned?
I have learned that nothing much scares me video game wise, only because I was touched in wrong places as a child.
By Jesus.
Jesus touched me in unbelievable places.
Was it the Jesus light switch?
In the right places at the wrong time.
No, it was the clown light switch. It was the clown light switch.
No, it was the
Like
wrong
the
places
balloon?
at the right time.
So, and yeah, this Oculus Rift is an amazing piece of kit. I mean, it's really amazing.
It really is.
Wait
Jonah,
for
what have
it.
you learned? Oh, I hope you don't learn anything from this show.
Yeah, God,
the
please, Jonah, don't
Oculus
learn.
Rift is like
And he's
amazing.
going down.
If you stand and go on
Oh,
a roller
damn.
coaster.
Well, that's just taking over the whole podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, I don't want the Oculus to take over the podcast. I'm sorry.
It did a good job.
Balance will like go to nothing. Like,
Yeah, it totally made me sick. I love that thing.
That's
I need
incredible. Yeah, that's awesome.
one. Larry, need it. Larry, what have you learned?
I learned that.
Wait.
I like that role-playing games are still alive and well, and people are playing them, and there's still a large active audience for that. So
While there are geeks, there will be role-playing games.
I appreciate that.
So why doesn't GTB roleplay? Because we can't stay on topic?
Yeah,
Exactly. Thank you.
we can barely get through Werewolf.
I know,
right?
It really makes me sad.
Together.
I really
You know
wish you, like, I wish for, like, one day we could be nice and have the attention span more than, like, an ADD-riddled Firefly.
And
You
we
know?
can't
Like-
play our roles. We have deputies shooting sheriffs. We got people hanging everybody.
What? That's what you mean for hanging everybody. I gotta be sure.
Usually we kill Rob
All right,
first.
turn around completely, Tom. You went out. Yep, you gotta go down backwards now.
That's what she said.
Oh, there you go.
I have gone down backwards before.
You know why we can't do that? Because we're all trolls. Every single last one of us is a troll.
Troll.
We're the guy that jumps in the
I'm not.
RPG channel and starts talking about other shit.
I'm
Yes,
not.
yes, we are.
I do nice things.
That's true.
I don't know. I'm a dedicated hardcore gamer.
Ryan, thank you for coming on.
You're a troll.
Ryan, one more time. URLs.
35privatesanctuary.com.
All right.
You gotta see Tom right now with this box on his head.
Tom is having like a normal conversation while he's riding around on an Oculus
You know,
roller
that
coaster
kind of looks
because
like
he's
the
that guy.
Vectrex.
I am that guy,
The
actually.
Vectrex 3D,
is
except you
that
don't
guy.
see the wheel spinning.
Yeah. All right, so thanks for coming on. Thank you all for listening, though. God, I really do wonder why you do. It's been Guys, Beans, and
Hold
Beer.
on, Tom. Keep it on for a second.
Teens.
We love you.
Keep it on for 1 sec.
Inappropriately.
Close your eyes.
And we've touched you in an inappropriate place.
Okay, we made it.
Duck downer.
Boy, that one really came apart. Impressive job, man.
Thank you very much.
That got out of hand quick.
Alright, you need to beer me, because I'm fairly apparently
why
way
are
the
you so-
fuck behind. Nobody fucking offered me a beer, and I'm only gonna trample over the podcast to get one. I was like, could somebody
You want a
have
Crappy Miller 64? Sorry.
that?
You don't. Only Rob and I drink the
I want.
Ryan, I really wish I could fit.
Miller
Do I look like I'm watching my
We love you. Sponsor us. Thank you.
Also, Rob, it did get interrupted, but I started it again. Got knocked.